Now, a car crash, altered documents, and a request for suspension by city council leaders. WDSU Investigates just uncovered new information in an investigation into the Orleans Parish Communication District Executive Director Tyrell Morris, who just announced that he is resigning.
Well, so Morris is under investigation by the Office of Inspector General of New Orleans. That's according to sources within City Hall regarding the altering of public documents that were sent to WDSU. So this all comes after WDSU investigative reporter Cassie Sherm started asking OPCD questions about Tyrell's accident in an OPCD vehicle. Cassie?
Well, the latest information what we have so far regarding these documents, I found metadata within these documents that were sent to us by OPCD. They show that Tyrell Morris himself was the last person to modify the OPCD policy regarding OPCD vehicles, and it was altered 17 minutes after I sent an email to Morris asking about the accident back in May. 4 days after that crash. An hour after that, he called me and he allowed me to record him. And are you okay if I record this?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
After sending multiple emails, I spoke to Director Tyrell Morris on May 11th, 4 days after his accident in his OPCD vehicle. It happened at 10:40 p.m. on Elysian Fields Avenue under the I-610 overpass.
I was at the intersection of 610 and Elysian Fields where a vehicle came behind me. And he kind of rolled from the side on my right side, and he clipped the part of my bumper. And he tried to go straight, like through the light, but it was in the turn lane. I didn't see him at all because there was no headlights. But anyways, immediately once we made impact, we both pulled over to the side. I got out, checked on him.
WDSU Investigates took a look at the 911 call logs. They show Morris called into dispatch but then canceled the call nearly 20 minutes later.
No one was injured, neither of us. I myself called it in, gave the location, gave license plate information, and then we kind of waited. But we started the process of exchanging insurance information, just like as the law requires. And then the dispatcher advised that she did not have any units available. It's going to be waiting a while. So we waited quite a bit, like another 15, 20 minutes. I asked the driver, I said, hey, there's no injury here. It's property damage only. Technically, we can exchange information, but it's on you.
He says they then left and drove his damaged car to his house, where we found the car 4 days later. Now, according to Morris, he was the one that was hit in this accident. But according to the footage that we received from this city crime camera back behind me here, that might not be the case. Take a look at the top left corner of your screen. Sources say the video shows OPCD vehicle was waiting at the red light. When the light turns green, Morris's vehicle veers right and hits the other car as it's turning. After stopping, Morris turns on his blue emergency lights on his vehicle and turns to pull right behind the other car. And did you believe the driver that hit you had any possibility of being impaired?
No, he was talking. He was totally with it. He told me he was heading to work. Now, when we first got there, I asked for his insurance license, driver's license, and he said he couldn't find it, but then he later found it. And that once he had all the information I needed, there really was no reason to hold us there. And so we exchanged driver's license information, all the normal stuff in an accident. And he said he was going to finish going to work. And
at any point during that day, had you been drinking?
Wow. Okay. No.
That's irrelevant, Cassie.
It is I just was asking. It's a question.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Megan.
I know. I just have to ask. I mean, this isn't the first time that an employee period has been involved in an accident. That's why I just have to ask.
If your question is, was I impaired? Absolutely not. I was leaving my home. I had been there most of the day. I was preparing to go out of town. So if the question is, was I impaired? Absolutely not.
Morris also told me he did not get a drug or alcohol test after the accident. I asked for that policy issued in 2019. He sent me this one that states, if injuries are reported, the operator of the OPCD vehicles must take a drug or alcohol test as soon as possible. But in my investigation, I got that exact document with the same title, date, signature that was submitted in a 2021 audit to Richard CPA, and it has 4 words less than the one OPCD gave me. The operator of OPCD vehicles must take a drug and alcohol test as soon as possible. It's missing those 4 words, if injuries are reported. Looking at the metadata of the document given to me by OPCD, it says it was last modified by Tyrell Morris at 12:44. That's 17 minutes after I emailed him.
If the one produced for your station was in fact altered from the official document, then that could very well be a state felony violation, but it has to be investigated by an independent entity.
Now, when I asked OPCD about the language differences in the two documents, a second document earlier this month, I was told, quote, "As you are certainly aware, electronically stored documents can be easily manipulated. It is OPCD's position that the version of the document I provided that includes the language limiting drug and alcohol tests to accidents involving reported bodily injuries is the only true and correct version." And as we mentioned, Council President J.P. Morrell and Council President and Vice President Helena Moreno wrote a letter to OPCD Board Chair today calling for his suspension pending this investigation. And later at 10 o'clock, guys, we're going to have so much more information into this.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Cassie, for digging into all of that. We will see your report at 10. Still ahead on WDSU News at 6.
Our coverage of the now 7-time champs continues. How former LSU baseball coaches are joining in on the celebration.